Welcome to BizTech's Startup Show, where we feature startup companies across industries as they build and scale their businesses. Today's featured company is Eatcosys, an F&B tech ecosystem that supports F&B businesses throughout their entire business lifecycle. Now, to tell us more about Eatcosys, we have its chairman, Tham Chung, and its CEO, Vincent. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us, Brian.
Now, could you give us an overview of what Eatcosys does and the inspiration behind setting it up?
Sure. Let me take that question. Right. So Eatcosys started because both Tham and I had gone through our own struggles in building our own companies. Right. So he in the F&B space, me in the tech space. And what we realized in that journey was that many F&B entrepreneurs, or retail entrepreneurs for that matter, would go through the same process that we did. Along the way, you are inundated with so many things to do, like, for example, what solutions to use, for an F&B entrepreneur would be even down to what cart terminals to use. So with all this kind of solutions or requirements to figure out how to grow your business on a day-to-day basis, run your business on a day-to-day basis, to growing it, there are a lot of challenges that a single entrepreneur faces, right? And what we wanted to do was then build a support system to help all these entrepreneurs grow from startup, from their home kitchen, all the way to outlet or more outlets, many outlets after that.
Now, gentlemen, what were the specific gaps in the market that you were addressing? And some of the pain points, perhaps. Share with us some of the things that F&B entrepreneurs face. You did mention things like card terminals and stuff, but it's a lot more than that, isn't it?
It is. So for example, right now, among the challenges faced by merchants would be, do they go on food marketplaces where they're challenged to buy high rates, but they can't live without that as well. So in their process of digitalizing their business, what are the other strategies that they can adopt, right? So that's where we come in to provide them multiple solutions to reach their consumers, not just through one channel, but through multiple channels. So we provide them tools. So for example, we provide them multiple options in creating a delivery platform for themselves. They can either handle it themselves, or they could have a system to help them manage it. So they have options in that sense. And as they grow, they may have a requirement to offer solutions where they need to provide more offerings, right, to their customers, where they would like to pair it with other offers, combine offers together. And that's where we again provide them solutions to smoothen their process of growing their business. Other areas would be, for example, with cashless payment becoming the norm now, right? How do they sign up for the different cashless payment solution providers that are out there, all right? Rather than having them go out and look for these providers, we provide them with all the solutions so that they can choose which payment systems to use. Right? I think Tham, as a former F&B entrepreneur, will be able to give you even more ideas as to how these solutions can help the entrepreneur.
Maybe just let me give you some real examples, some painful experience that I went through myself. For example, okay, we have changed our point of sale system a couple of times. Ever since I've been involved in F&B business since 2013 until now, right? Okay, I can't imagine how many point of sale system providers that I've changed. I think I've changed 5 times, right? Okay, so sometimes why are we keep changing? Because of unfriendly user experience. Okay, that's one. Okay, and sometimes the point of sale system could be very complicated for our staff. It may be, okay, there are many functions that we do not need, right? Okay, so but there's no one telling us or which one to use. Because when we started, right, we're inexperienced in F&B, right? Okay, so whenever there's a vendor who came to us, we thought, okay, this is the one, right? We didn't really have enough resources to compare codes or whatsoever. There's no one guiding us. There's one, and imagine once we change the POS, right? When we have 10 outlets, 20 outlets, we're going to change it throughout the whole entire group. That will cost us a tons of money as well. And some of the point of sale system, they don't even allow so-called, they also need us to change the hardware when we change the software. So we have gone through some painful lessons throughout that process. Another comparison is when we only started with 1 outlet, 2 outlets, there's not much, there's no such expansion plan in mind, okay, of growing to 10 or 20 outlets. Hence, we don't really have a panel of contractors or even designer with us. Hence, we can't compare what are the codes like, okay, which one will give us the most competitive codes. Normally, we'll go with someone that we are comfortable with or we are familiar with. But guess what, okay? So one day when I have 10 or 20 outlets, I start having 5, 6 contractors. The differences can vary from 200,000 to 300,000. So in my mind, okay, playing in my mind, how much money I have lost, okay, over the last 5 or 6 years because of this construction cost, right? Knowing because we did not do a comparison. Why did we didn't do that? Because we don't have the resources. We don't know who are there to do that, right? Okay.
And
now
it comes the knowledge as well, isn't it? It's not just
exactly.
The resources, the knowledge.
Exactly. There's no such thing as a yellow book for the F&B industry, right? Okay. So it means that I have to go through like 10 vendors to get things done. I can't even go to one singular party and tell me, look, this is, I'm going to set up my one restaurant, okay? Tell me how can I do it in the most effective and cost-effective way. There's no such platform or solutions who can tell me that, right? Okay, so I will do a lot of try and error myself. Even after that, when it comes to purchase of products, in kitchen ingredients, and that we don't really have a procurement team. Most of the time, especially for small entrepreneurs, the owner himself is the outlet manager. He himself is the barista. He himself, okay, is the cleaner, right? Okay, even the accountant, the bookkeeper as well. So how many hands can he do? He can't do much, right? So when it comes to procurement, procuring products or even ingredients, we don't know who to go to, who provide us the cheapest products as well. So let's say lack of knowledge, lack of context as well. So these are the typical pain points that everyone is facing even until today.
So it sounds like you guys are building an ecosystem to help these F&B entrepreneurs from startup really up to scale up, because you talked about then expanding multiple outlets. Now,
Correct.
Could you kind of walk us through slowly what are the different aspects of your ecosystem?
Let's get back to the life cycle. You say from startup to scale up, right? So, and that's a very good place to start. So from startup, which is your ideation process, where you have an idea to start up a F&B business, right? So that's the idea in your head. So after which you go about looking for funds to build that business, right? Either it's through your family funds, it's through your own personal funds, or perhaps you may even look for public funds to funds from the public, from friends, right? To build that business. Once you have that funds in place, then you go on through the process of building or looking for premises where to set up your outlet. Are you setting up a kiosk? Are you setting up a shop or whatever else, right? Then store identified, the setup comes in, which is what Tham mentioned earlier, you know, about designers, about the people, the contractors who will set up your kitchen for you. Setup done, go to market, right? So now you're going out to market to inform the world that you exist, you're on, open for business, right? Next step after which is then you need your supplies to keep you in business, and the analytics to analyze what's doing well in your business, right? Are you performing on par? Is your business running on track? And after which you complete that cycle, you may grow again. So where we fit in all these steps of the life cycle is that we have solutions to meet every single component, right? And Tham, would you like to tell them more about those components?
Sure. Okay. So under our group, see us as a total solution provider. Like what I mentioned just now, we've tried to eliminate too many vendors dealing with the entrepreneurs. Let the entrepreneurs focus on increasing their sales. Okay, what matters to them, and because time is precious, they don't have time firefighting with the vendors, especially when the vendors they do not communicate internally as well, right? Okay, so that will create a lot of confusion to the entrepreneurs. So the platforms that we have includes the B2C platform. These are mainly to bring in sales and increase sales for the outlets via reservation, dine-in, on-demand food delivery, event space booking platform, event services, catering booking platform, and also they're also able to promote their products or even their brand on our live commerce platform as well. So B2C platform is mainly to drive sales for them. The B2B platform is mainly to help them to reduce their costs by matching in designers, contractors, equipment suppliers, furniture suppliers, kitchenware suppliers, or even kitchen ingredient suppliers, so that they will be able to get the best cost in town. So when they're small, they don't really have economies of scale. Bear in mind, these are all retailers who only has one outlet or maybe 2 or 3. Yes, they will not have that bargaining power with the suppliers. But through our platforms, we buy in bulk. We have the volume and also the relationship with all these suppliers. So we are able to pass on this discount to them. So they will be able to save the cost by doing that, right?
Your B2B marketplace, if I'm a retailer, I put up my requirements on the marketplace, then what happens? Is this a competitive bidding, or how does that work?
It is. So what it does is that once you put it up there, right? So it is then available to our merchants to buy. So it's not competitive bidding yet, right? Though we will progress to that. But what we do is when we bring on suppliers, we will have compared their prices first, so that the merchants on our platform get very good prices already to begin with. We didn't want to complicate that process by asking them to bid for this, bid for that, because as it is, the operators have enough on their mind already. Just get me the cheapest price that's on a good quality, and I'm happy.
Then, gentlemen, what is your business model? What are your revenue streams, and what sort of revenues are you making right now?
Right. Okay. Maybe I can take that. Last year, as a group, we are doing about close to about 30 million revenue, right? Close to about 2.5 million profit after tax. So we are a profitable company. This year, we are on track hitting about 50 million revenue, right? So which will give us close to about 80% jump in terms of revenue growth. And we are on track of hitting that 5 to 6 million profit after tax as well. Yeah.
Now, where does your revenues come from?
Right. So the revenue comes from different stream of divisions, right? From the explanation just now, you can tell that we have numerous solutions and services, right? Okay. So most of them still come from our F&B trading and matching platforms, which includes the on-demand food delivery, the food search, the kitchenware trading platform as well. And a portion of it comes from our loyalty management solutions. We are a leading loyalty management solution provider in Malaysia, which dealt with large enterprises such as Petronas, Maybank, HSBC, UOB, DG as well. Yeah.
So in other words, you have a mixed revenue stream there. So you obviously have some of these fee per month, it's a subscription based.
Yes.
Some of them are commission based.
So Tham mentioned earlier that we have F&B platforms, right? So those F&B platforms would be, some would be commission-based, some would be subscription-based, right? You very rightly pointed that out. So commission-based would be platforms like Vimo, which is an event venues and services booking platform, Feed My Guest, which is a catering booking platform. Subscription-based would be things like Food Advisor, which is yearly subscription to be listed on a food discovery search, right? So this is where if you want your outlet to be found, to be seen, and on search, especially on Google search especially, then that's where you subscribe to being listed on it, right? Others would include on commission space, where it's our trading platforms like My Cooking Story and even boozing.
Vincent, how has the business been funded from 2014 when you all started till now?
Wow.
2014 sounds like a long time ago, but
yes.
So originally when it first started, it was bootstrapped. So I bootstrapped it first to begin that business. Tham came in as an outside investor at that time, right? And became my partner in 2015 when he became the first outside investor. And from then on, we grew that business further. It was only in 2017, after we had bootstrapped it for a few years, that we were able to raise funding on ECF for it. This was when we ran our first ECF campaign where we raised $500,000 ringgit. So this was the initial startup phase.
Then you also raised money from Cradle as well as 500 startups, correct?
Correct. So Cradle became an early investor in that first round of ECF where they did a co-investment. So what they did was that they committed to say, okay, we will come in for 250,000 ringgit if you can raise another 250,000 ringgit on ECF. So we did that. We raised 250,000 ringgit to match their funds, and we had that first 500,000 fund. Cradle then came in on a second round where they had pre-arranged a revenue target for us, and then they came in at a second round with another 250,000 ringgit, right? And 500 startups came in last year in 2020 when we did our second round of crowdfunding, this time on Pitchin, and where we raised 2 million ringgit at a valuation of 20 million.
Okay, so you guys are all hats at fundraising, and you've raised money. You've also then acquired in 2021 5 different companies. Feed My Guest, Linear Sense, Food Advisor, Fidelity Funding, and My Cooking Story. Now, you've actually mentioned part of some of the little things of what they actually do, but how does this contribute to the overall strategy?
Yeah, we have two, I would say 2 key pillars under our group. One consists of the retail technology, which drives us the data. Retail technology includes the point of sale system, all these food search engines and trading platforms, be it alcohol e-commerce, event space booking, catering booking. It drives a lot of data, right? Okay, especially understanding the user pattern, the spending behavior, and etc., right? Okay, but the merchants and retailers on the other side, in order to grow their business, they also need financing solutions, fundings, right? And based on our own experience, it's so tough to get loans from the banks. Okay. And even before 2017, there's no such thing as equity crowdfunding, right? We are the first one, Malaysia is the first country which has launched equity crowdfunding in the whole Southeast Asia, right? Yes. And I remember clearly, we are the number 7th company which are listed on the equity crowdfunding platform back in 2017. That was so new back then, right? Okay. Yes. So and equity crowdfunding platform has created an avenue for startups to raise funds from people that we don't know, right? It's like I think going for IPO, but in a very mini scale, right? Right. So us, right? Funding is important to help the retailers to grow. No matter how many solutions we give to them, without fundings, they're unable to grow, right? I'll give you a very good example. We have one retailer who listed on our platform. They're selling amazing desserts. We can see that every month on our platform, they're earning like 5,000 plus sales, right? So we prompt them and ask them, do you need a new equipment, right? Okay, but how do you know that we need equipment? Well, based on your sales trend, it looks like you need to increase your capacity. So what we do is we source the equipment for them, but the problem is they couldn't fund it, right? But we can fund it by giving them an installment plan. So that came to us, right? These are the underserved market or even unserved market that couldn't tap to the traditional banking system. Maybe they are operating below 3 years. They don't have 3 years audited accounts, or maybe they have more than 3 years track record, but the owner himself could be facing some difficulties in terms of sorting out their track record, personal track record, which affected their secrets or CTOS, right? Okay, but amazing business. We can see from their point of sale system, they are doing good business. How come they couldn't get any funds from the banks? It's mainly because the outdated information that the bank has do not allow them to borrow anymore. But these are the market that we want to serve. This is the whole reason why we extended to have that funding divisions, which includes our licensed money lending arm, and also an alternative funding solution to help them to find funds as well outside of our group.
One of the challenges that you have in terms of your business model, when I looked at your documents, is the fact that, yes, you do startup to scale up, but it seems like you're doing a lot of things. How are you managing the execution risks that are associated with that?
Thank you, Brian, for bringing that up. Okay. In fact, okay, Vincent and I, we think that we are not doing enough, right?
Okay. Okay.
We're not doing enough to help the entrepreneurs, because we went through that stage ourselves in a very, very painful way. We struggle as entrepreneurs, right? Okay, we're not from we're not from well-to-do family, both of us, right? Okay, so I started with my first venture with 100,000, right? Okay, and start growing from there on to reach where I am today. So if you have someone to support us, I would like to do that. Hence, the more solutions we are able to provide, the better. So that's one. But then here comes the execution problems. How are we able to execute if there's only Vincent and I? Honestly speaking, we can't. I can tell you right now, it's difficult to do that. But we are only able to execute things within our control. And luckily for us, in 2019, we've acquired a few companies which complement our event-based booking platform, such as the alcohol e-commerce platform, Boost It. Even Feed My Guest and Food Advisor, we really start working with their management team and get involved in their management team running the business for them as well, together with the founders before this, right? And yeah, and that's why we integrated ever since 2019, and we have worked with them closely as collaboration partners, as if we are already under one same umbrella, and that allowed us to maximize the offerings to our clients. Right? And because I came from the banking industry before this, investment banker, I did merger acquisitions, fundraising, IPO, restructuring as well. The venture capital arm and the money lending arm, right, was owned by me personally, and I see this as a good extension of services to be offered to our retailers, right? But get involved in loyalty management solutions or even payment gateway or other sorts of platforms, there's no way for us to do it. But there's one way to solve this problem is via acquisitions. We have been collaborating with good partners all this while. Nadel, which is a leading loyalty management solutions company in Malaysia, great entrepreneur, right? Okay, we share a lot of things, same wavelength as well. We speak the same language. We find him, hey, I can provide these solutions to my retailers because it solves their pain points, right? We would like to come on board as a partner as well. The closer we work together, the easier for us to think, come on, let's do this together and build a much bigger ecosystem to serve the community. And that's how we acquire the point of sale system company, the loyalty management solutions, and also the kitchenware trading platform as well. Because the more platform we have, and bear in mind, all these founders, partners, they're still with us, managing their respective business divisions, but we communicate very well almost every week and cross-sell our products. So when we go to the clients, we're able to give them the whole total package right now. And we are still going to go ahead with the strategy of getting partners who are more aligned with us, collaboration partners that we're working with right now, okay, so that we can add more, such as digital marketing services, or even payment gateway, or even like a performance marketing example. Yeah.
Now you guys are going to raise for the third time money on ECF as well. So equity crowdfunding. You're looking to at a valuation of 70 million ringgit. Now, how did you arrive at that valuation? Because your P&L numbers, which you discussed just now, indicate a PE of around 33 times. Am I correct?
Yes. Yep, if you look at the historical numbers, we are based on 70 million. Our valuation implies a price earnings ratio of 33 times, right? But this year, we are very confident we'll hit 5 to 6 million profit after tax, which imply a price earnings ratio of close to about 12 times, right? And next year, I think we can hit 7 to 8 million, which will go down below 10 times. So when we compare ourselves with other listed companies operating in the same segment as us, first of all, there isn't a lot of listed digital services or technology company like us on Bursa Malaysia. But when you compare with them, they are trading close to about 50 times, even 100 times, right? Okay. I think because there's too much demand for technology stocks, and they're too little supply on the stock market. Hence, they're demanding a very good valuation. So I would say, even at 12 times price earnings ratio, we are still trading at a very undemanding valuation.
Okay, and how much are you looking to raise this time, and what are you going to deploy the funds for?
Right. This round, we would like to raise 5 million, but of course, okay, if we are able to get strategic partners in at the same time, we can raise more than that. The reason why we tap on the equity crowdfunding is based on our experience over the last 2 rounds of ECF. We are able to get great partners. Cradle Fund has been great partners, 500 startups as well. And not only that, those retail investors who came in and support us, they also bring us business opportunities as well. Okay, some of them, they are our existing users. They share with us, okay, their feedback. So we like to have more partners as much as possible. And out of that 5 million, we will allocate some monies for R&D purpose to improve our technology, and also allocate about 3 million to acquire strategic partners for them to come on board so that we can provide more solutions to our clients.
After the last time, you already went regional. Could you let us know how many markets you're in right now? Is that part of the strategy to expand your regional footprint?
We're in 7 countries now throughout Southeast Asia, also in New Zealand and Australia. And that is because New Zealand and Australia is because one of our partners is actually a New Zealander, right? So our key management personnel is actually from New Zealand. So it's a market that he's familiar with. However, while it's 7 countries, for the current moment, especially at this moment, the bulk of our revenues are coming from Malaysia. But once the pandemic lives, we're sure that we'll be able to expand and travel again, and we'll be able to grow the other businesses outside the country. Having said that, we've just recently closed a contract in Indonesia as well, right? So Indonesia remains a revenue earner for us, even at this time.
Vincent and Tham, final question. You've learned a lot in your journey so far. What are the key lessons that you can share with other entrepreneurs that will help them in their own journeys?
I'll let Vincent take that one first, okay, before I share mine.
Right. I think when we started, the inspiration for Eatcosys, where we talked about our own struggles, I think that's something that I want to leave behind, because it is in overcoming these challenges step by step and being persistent to get through it, even when there were, especially at the start, where there were many naysayers who said that, oh, this can't be done, right? There's no business for this. But what we saw was that we had a vision for first starting with event venues and then growing that beyond that, because we always knew that event venues, for sure, it's too small an addressable market, but it was our trump card, or our foot in the door to get to restaurants and cafes where we could build that relationship. And after building that relationship, that's where we could build on more and more, add on more and more services for them, right? And today, what we want to do is really provide them a support system to help them grow as well. I think to add on to why we have gone through ECF, even at this round, where it's just before IPO, is because we've had a lot of support from the merchants who are on our platform. So some of the merchants that are on our platform have actually come in as investors as well, right? And that's a testament to their belief in what we're doing, that even at this time, while some of them are actually struggling, see that potential, that they want to be part of this. Right. Tham.
Right. Thanks. So for me, I've been running business for close to about 10 years ever since then, right? And in fact, technology is my 10th venture. I've done numerous kind of businesses, including event management, sports exhibition, corporate advisory, trading, then construction, and then F&B. One thing that I've gone through is a lot of partnerships. Some partnerships have turned out very fruitful, like the partnership with Vincent. and some partnership has become a huge disappointment as well. But no matter what, I think it's important to never lose faith in humanity, right? Okay, never lose faith in relationship and trust as well. I think trust and relationship is a very important element when we build partnership and also the business as well. I have seen tons of different business models. Most of them on paper it work, right? But the execution, whether are they able to execute it, and when it comes to execution, it's always the people behind it, right? Okay. So I always truly believe that if you want to grow big, right, we can't grow alone. We must form partnership with people that we believe in and trust, right? So I can tell you, I trust. I can put my life in the hands of Vincent, okay? So as in the hands of my other partners as well. So that's how strong is the trust. And hence, the key lesson that I learned over the last 10 years is, no matter what happened, we never give up. We shouldn't give up, right? Okay, yeah, that's what has brought us to where we are today.
Now, gentlemen, thank you very much for taking your time to be on the show.
Thank you so
Brian,
much
for having us.
Now, we've been speaking to Tham Chung and Vincent Kwok of Eatcosys on BizTech's Startup Show. This video will be on our Facebook and our LinkedIn site, as well as our website, www.biztech.asia. Please like and subscribe to our various platforms. Thank you very much for tuning in.